it down. Chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down.
I just appreciate everybody
Damn,
man.
Watch him throw the ball. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.
Sir. Yes, sir. Good morning to everybody. What's going on to all my morning trappers? Let me go ahead and get my music right. Hey, I'm still a little tired, bro. Oh my God. I didn't think that was about to happen this morning. How y'all feeling? How everybody feeling? Let me go ahead and check in. Nope, wrong song. Let me get this. Give me music. Okay. Uh-oh. Cowboys and Eagles almost got to fighting after the game. I ain't see that one last night. Hey, look, how's everybody doing this morning, man? How was y'all day off? How did y'all spend y'all day off? You know what I'm saying? I got my feet kicked up. I watched the games the whole day. I ain't had no care in the world. My flag football game, 9 a.m. I got home at 12. Was able to take my shower, get on the couch. I sat on the couch all 8 hours. I'm not lying to you. I didn't do anything. I didn't do a damn thing yesterday except for enjoy football. I ain't had to worry about Washington. Watch my bets play out, you know, stress-free. Never mind the fact that, we got some news on Saturday, right? That Carson Wentz, broke his finger. Now, we knew he got hurt in the game against Chicago, but we didn't know to what extent, right? So never mind the fact that we got news. I ain't think about the team all day yesterday. We had some solid games on for the most part. Let me actually check in. I ain't gonna think though. I ain't gonna lie. The slate though wasn't really impressive for whatever reason. I didn't find too much impressive about the actual matchups. Where is the schedule at? Who do we have yesterday? What's today? It's week 6. Yeah, so week 6. Who we have? Commanders, the Bears to kick things off. Who would have thought the Atlanta Falcons was going to whoop on the Niners like that? I didn't think they didn't have no shot. I didn't think they was going to whoop on the Niners the way they did. I had 2 bets that lost yesterday. I had Cleveland covering the 2.5. They got smoked at home. And it may be time to be talking about firing Stefanski. I'm sure that's probably going to be a conversation in Cleveland. That's the first thing. The second thing, quarterback play, you can't do much. You can't do too much about that. That's not looking too good. And on second thought, I should have knew better that Bill Belichick was coming into town, and he drafted Jacoby Brissett, so he knew a little bit about Jacoby Brissett, and his limitations. So they came in there and waxed Cleveland. Indianapolis, crazy game. Matt Ryan and the Colts 3-2-1. You know what I'm saying? Looking a little bit much. Their prospects looking a little bit better as the weeks move on in that AFC South. And if I'm not mistaken, they tied for first? Let me double check. I think a tie will give them the. Oh no, so yeah, they're 3-2-1 because Tennessee got the bye week, and then they play each other next week. Tennessee and Indy. That's for the division lead right there. Tennessee already got that first dub, so that was a good game. Matt Ryan hit the game winner. You know what I'm saying? Vintage Matty Ice. The Jets whooping on the Packers 27-10. 27-10. I wish I was able to see that whole game. I was watching Red Zone for the most part, first game, and then obviously the Giants and the Ravens. I had the Giants plus the 6. So I was locked in on that a lot for the 1 o'clock game. Giants came through 5-1. We have to talk about the Giants too. Because I'm starting to like what I'm saying on social media. I think is a flaw in people's analysis of the team. And if you all listen to all 32 with Nick and Rye and myself, And shout out to those who listen to all 32 side. You know, this ain't always just all Washington Commanders. I mean, 90% of it is, right? But if you listen to all 32, me and Ryan had an argument, and I don't think he was really comprehending where I was coming from. But I think the Giants is a perfect example to kind of talk about, you know, how I feel about new teams. And let me see if I saved some of the tweets that I was looking at. Okay, so I got one tweet, and I'm gonna try and find the other ones. But in relation to the Giants, my man KMB Moore, cool guy, followed him for years, right? But he said, you know, the more I watch these other teams, especially those in our division, it's clear that we're not on the same planet as those organizations. It looks like a higher level of the sport, and I'm more convinced that we need new energy here from top to bottom. #Commandos. Let me see if I can find the other one. Give me 2 seconds. I know I'm gonna bring my point home, so give me some time. Good morning to everybody that's checking in. Good morning to the Morning Trappers. Open show, by the way. The link is in the YouTube description. I will send another copy right here, right now to everybody. But if you are new, or if you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the YouTube side. Make sure you are following on Twitch if you are not. All right, so let me find the other tweets. This is in relation to the Giants before I continue on with my rant. Here we go. My man C. Wellian, the good man. Brian Daboll fixed the Giants before we even sniffed the winning record. What a disaster. That's the second tweet. And then we have my good man John Kime. Let me see if I can find his tweet. Don Kime had said, the Giants have a new coach, have dealt with injuries and subpar play at quarterback, were even considered the worst in the NFC East entering the season, and everyone keeps waiting for them to fade. They are about to be 5-1. I don't disagree with anything that they said in terms of the Giants for this season, right? But my boy C. Wellian mentioned that Daboll fixed the Giants. Now let's flash back to Tuesday or Wednesday when I talked about that all 32 side of the Trap or Die podcast. My conversation with Ryan, I had said that it takes years for a team to be considered good. Flash in the pans, one solid year. All those other ways that you can describe how a team is playing in the now, especially if they've been playing poor for a long period of time, i.e., I ain't gonna do the Bengals like that. I respect what Andy Dalton did in Cincinnati. Who's a random team last year that really did good? Maybe the Cardinals. Let's see. I'm still looking. And maybe the Cardinals, I think, would be the lone example because they made the playoffs last year. But my point. Let me get back to my point. For several years, it like 3 to 4 years of consistency determines if you're a good team or not 1 year. So the fact that Washington is 2-4 at this point is influencing everybody's opinion that the Giants are all of a sudden a good team. They are playing good ball right now. And I think that's important for everybody to remember. I think you have more of an argument for the Cowboys and the Eagles, right? Like that's a more stable argument to have. But I think the argument in that the Giants have been fixed is flawed because of the things that, like a John Kine mentioned. They have dealt with injuries and subpar play at quarterback. We're considered one of the worst teams in the NFC East entering the season, and everyone keeps waiting for them to fade. All of those are legit. Like, coaching has played a huge part in the Giants being able to win. They've also caught several breaks. And it's not to say that they're fluke. I'm just saying you're running into teams who are struggling in their own right. Good teams, Packers, they have solid quarterback. Same thing with the Ravens, solid quarterback. And you're making plays in a good moment. But the season is not over yet. They're playing good ball right now. And as much as I like what they're doing, and I respect the fact that they play hard for Brian Daboll, and Brian Daboll clearly has, it looks like he has some solutions to fixing the offense or stabilizing the offense. Like Daniel Jones isn't really turning the ball over like that. They're making reads easy for him, and he's executing. Saquon Barkley going off. I just think that you're in a position with the Giants. It's too soon to say that they're a good team. They're having a good season. They're having a good debut with Brian Daboll. But I'm not sitting here saying that they're a good team. It takes 3 to 4 years, maybe even 5 years, to stabilize the fact that you're a good team. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Before Alex Smith and Andy Reid got there, they were terrible. And while you can safely assume, because Andy Reid has the track record, you can safely assume that they're going to be a good team. Nobody's not thinking of them as a true threat until like the 3rd or 4th year under Andy Reid. Like a true NFC threat. AFC threat until like Andy Reid comes along and they establish what a good team is. Right? So who's other teams that you can think of? The Tennessee Titans was the main argument in that conversation that I had with Ryan Nix. They just started getting good in 2016. And from 2016 on, they've been stacking up positive seasons year after year, and it's culminated in a 1 seed. It's culminated in a AFC title game. That is good. That is good football. That is an establishment of a good team. The Titans right now are 3-2. They took some tough losses, one of which was to the New York Giants. They're still a good team. And under Mike Vrabel, they're going to continue to be a good team. He has some things to work through. Who else can you think of as a good team? I'm going through the list now. Matter of fact, this is probably better than Buffalo, obviously. The obvious one. They've won for how many years in a row now? And they started winning before Josh Allen got there. What's his name? Tyrod Taylor took him to the playoffs 1 year. But McDermott, 9-7 first year. After that, 1 losing season since. And that was the very next year in transition. They went 6-10. After that, 10-6, 13-3, 11-6, 5-1 this year. They've been good since 2017. That's a good team. Giants ain't there yet. And I love what they're doing right now, but Giants ain't there yet. And in that same vein, if we want to say Philly ain't there yet, that's cool too. Like, Philly ain't there yet. But they looking real strong, the last undefeated team. Who else do we got? The Chargers ain't really a good team right now. And I hate saying that because I love their quarterback. I think they got a really good quarterback, a top 10 quarterback, clearly. I see you, Alex. Good morning to everybody. Good morning, everybody checking in. Good morning to the Morning Trappers. How y'all doing? Good morning, man. He said for the Giants, 6 games is a small sample size. That is true. Daniel Jones, QBR is 14th in the league. That is good. That is good. Look at the Atlanta Falcons, 3-3. I'm not going to say they're a good team. 3-3. That's nothing to brag about. Seattle's 3-3. Are they a good team? Hey, they're knocking off wins that nobody really thought that they can do with Geno Smith. I mean, I think they're above average. I think that's safe to say. I don't think they're a good team, but with Pete Carroll around, I don't count them out. Like, that defense is a problem, and they need to find a way to get that fixed. So maybe they are a good team, and maybe I lend that to coaching because they have a track record of being good coaches, especially Pete Carroll. So I would argue that they're a good team. I would stand on that side of the argument. Fair enough. But you all get my point, and that's kind of what I want to wrap it around. When people are having these conversations about the New York Giants, man, I just think it's too premature to say that they fixed it. But I also think it's based on the emotion at the fact that Washington at 2-4 provides no hope that they'll turn things around with the current coaching staff. And that injuries or youthfulness or immaturity will continue to be an excuse, like a doorway to getting out of trouble for this organization. And I think that's ultimately where the driving factor comes in when it comes to essentially where people lie with the New York Giants and other teams in the division. I don't think that they've gotten it fixed yet. I think that you need to see like 2 or 3 years before you say that they're a good team, because they may be very well good this year. Never forget 2016. The New York Giants, 2016 went 11-5. Let me double check. Yeah, 11-5 that year. Bruh, that was the first year in Ben McAdoo. mind you. And let's go 3 years before that, and 4 years before that, they were 9-7, 7-9, 6-10, 6-10, and then 11-5. A lot of people thought that McAdoo turned things around. That fool went 3-13 the next year, and then they ain't went over 7 games since. They've won 3 games, 5 games, 4 games, 6 games, 4 games. So you got to take all that into consideration when it comes to good teams altogether, man. Giants ain't there yet, and I think that's at. And when it comes to Washington, now we got news that Taylor Heinecke is let's go Carson Wentz first. What's going on, Rich? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Obviously the news came out with Carson Wentz on Saturday that he is going to LA today and having that consultation about, what needs to happen with his finger. And I think the context behind that is interesting. I think that him deciding to stay in the game after fracturing his finger is incredible. I don't know if he got a shot at halftime. Because OG, what's going on, Rich? What's going on? What's going on, OG? So, I fractured my finger. Playing flag football. Like serious flag football, contact, all that stuff. First time out there, I didn't know how to pull the flag. Like, I didn't know how to really pull the flag. I'm just going in there with my fingers, like, all stiff. I mean, it's not an exact science. It's more so a feel that you get accustomed to or whatever. And injuries happen. Point being, fractured my finger. I was able to play 15 minutes after the fact because I didn't even know that my finger was fractured. I looked down. I don't even know how I started to look like this, right? With my position. I don't even know how I looked down like this. Maybe I was trying to tighten up my gloves. And I looked down and I'm like, hey, Wood, this finger ain't supposed to look like this, is it? This finger ain't supposed to look like this. This joint crooked as shit. Crooked. Sorry for the cussing. But this finger is crooked. It ain't supposed to look like this. They said, nah, man, it ain't supposed to look like that, Mo. After that 15 minutes, the adrenaline wears off and I start feeling everything. I get the urgent care, and ultimately I'm gone for like a month or some change. So like that's 4 weeks that I missed time from flag football. And I say all this to say he fractured his finger in that second quarter, and that man continued playing until the final whistle. First and foremost, he's gonna miss some time. That's the first thing. And it's his throwing finger, I believe. So he's gonna miss some time. But secondly, respecting him for battling it out, because I can speak on this firsthand. I don't know how the hell he did it. I don't know how he did it. What's going on, Hawk? What's going on, Donnell? Good morning to the morning trappers. Good morning, everybody, man. Look, the link is in the description. The link is in the chat right now. If you all, anybody and everybody who wants to come up, talk some ball, talk Carson Wentz, Taylor Heinecke, anything Washington related, the floor is yours. It says an open show. Yeah. OG. Hey, look, that pain. Hey, that joint was real too. Joint started throbbing. I'm like, hey, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but give me some painkillers or something. I know you're not about to shoot me up. You ain't about to give me no injection. So just give me a goddamn pain pill or something. But yeah, I think to that point, shout out to or credit to Carson Wentz for battling through it. But ultimately, I think before the finger, he was still having issues connecting on passes, and still seeing the field a little bit off. So I think that for all this worth, I think the criticism that came out of that game with Carson, and also, to a degree, Scott Turner, I think the criticism is still valid because it's happened outside of the Chicago game. And that's basically my point. But salute to him for battling through. I just think that for the context purposes, you're a little bit, I think the injuries is going to skew you a little bit, but it shouldn't skew you a lot in terms of like, this is why he was playing bad. So yeah, Taylor Heinecke is up next, and what do we project or project Taylor Heinecke to do in this offense? Like, what is your projections? What do you suggest is going to happen with Taylor Heinecke now at the helm? I do think there's a couple things that we can probably dive into. Let me see if I can find it. Who is this? John Robinson. That's funny. Let me see if I can find the quotes. I'm about to pull up his Ron's presser from Friday. And actually, before I even get into it, we got Hawk waiting in, so I'm gonna go ahead and get Hawk in. Rich, I see you. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna save that for after Hawk. Maybe talk about it with Hawk. That's actually probably a better idea. So let's go ahead and get Hawk on and talk some Commanders ball, man. Hold on, take that off. Let me go ahead and get that thing on right there. Yep, there we go. There we go. What's going on, Hawk?
What the business is,
ain't much, man. I can't call a big dog. Good morning to the morning trapper, man.
Hey, man. Hey, look at man. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, man. Always practicing YouTube etiquette, man. Hey,
yes, sir.
Hey, Maul. Hey, Maul, let me tell you something, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Carson Wentz made a fan out of me, man. He made a fan out of me Thursday. I mean, bro, like you said, man, he battled through an injury that most of us, hey, bro, hey, look, where my mom at, where my dad at, hurry up and get me out of here, because this, hey, bro, my head hurt, you know what I'm
saying? I'm looking down, I'm like, hold on, bro, this ain't where it's supposed to be right now. Hey, hold on, cuz, take me to the hospital, man. Fix this.
Yeah, hey, man, hey, look, Carson Wentz, he did his thing. And, you know, one of the things that kind of got me, man, all right, first and foremost, I like to do the survivor pool. So, you know, basically in a survivor pool, you pick a team to win. If you advance, you get to keep playing, but you only have another chance to go ahead and pick that same team, or, you know, throughout the rest of the NFL season. For as long as you keep
so it's two times, it's not just one.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I was listening to you. I was listening to other people within this space, and I was just like, you know what, y'all got me drinking the daggone what I call it, the commander. I call it the commander raid, and I just went ahead and picked, pick Washington to go ahead and beat the Bears.
Okay.
And the thing that, and like the thing that kind of sold it, because
Hey, Hawk, if you can hear me, the internet connection or the connection altogether, whatever it is, service, I don't know, it's fading in and out. I know Hawk usually be on his way to work, if I'm not mistaken. Hawk, can you hear me? Oh, it's fading a little bit. All right, hold on. Let me make sure. Let me give Hawk like a couple more seconds. Otherwise, I'll put him back. Yo, can you hear me?
Y'all hear? Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, you good now? So you faded after the talk about the survivor pool, and you said the reason why you picked Washington, and I couldn't hear you after that.
Oh yeah. Hey, Mark. So basically, I went ahead, like I said, just listening to you guys, man, and then I did some research. Carson Wentz's overall record against the Bears, he was 3-0. He was 3-0. I was like, all right, he's 3-0, you know what I'm saying? And then he went ahead and he came through for me. He came through. You know what I'm saying? We in there.
I'm about to say that survivor pool thing can get tricky, but I think it would. Truthfully, I mean, it was. I'm pretty sure you were shaking in your boots at the final drive, but overall, it seemed like I don't know. It was a tricky game, bro. Even when you think about, because I'm sitting here trying to think, like, they came through and the Commanders ultimately came through, but Jesus Christ, if the Bears wasn't the Bears, we'd be frustrated right now. But a win is a win, so it worked out, right?
Yeah. Hey, look, man, that last drive, man. daggone Justin Fields, bro. I just knew he was gonna score. I just knew he was gonna score, man. Cause he had,
Hey, 3 red zone
bro,
trips, you gotta get something out of it.
you got to get something out of it. But you know, though the defense held their water. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know what, and excuse me, Deron Payne has seriously been playing like, bro, y'all better pay me now or else. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, the same thing with Montez Sweat. Like this is the Montez Sweat. Like what I'm saying. Just getting them frequent pressures and you know what I'm saying, and actually capitalizing on sack opportunities. I'm like, you know what? That's what's up, man. You say Montez, man. You know what? I was kind of looking at him funny, but though we gonna see, and then hopefully when our Chase Young gets back, so hey Chase, you know what? He's like the most important piece to me, cause I mean with all the things considering our secondary sucks, but we need Chase to go ahead and be dominant. Yeah, seriously, man.
I do think that
Oh, hello.
Montez Sweat
Yeah,
was, yeah, can you hear me?
yeah. I get it.
Yeah, I think for all it's worth with Montez Sweat, I think the last couple of weeks is more so him returning to the means, not obviously giving acknowledgement that Tennessee and Chicago, um, their offensive line, like it 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 allows Montez Sweat to kind of work the way he worked in terms of like the skill set. Not to discredit, his work. I'm just saying it does allow him to return to the means, get that confidence, and stack those dubs ups in terms of pressures getting home to the quarterback.
Yeah,
So I think that's really good confidence. I do think that he can probably average out in terms of being able to get home, and you're probably looking at, because he's been there, Jacksonville, he's been there. I think Dallas as well. Philly and Detroit, they kind of had their way against Montez for the most part. But my point in that is that like I think that you can probably start seeing some stability in terms of connecting the pass rush to getting home to the quarterback. And with Chase Young around the corner, who knows when he comes back? Maybe he's out for a couple more weeks.
right.
I think that Chase Young coming back can help. I don't see, now here's the thing too, it's a mix. I think that he can come back and help, obviously solidify the defensive line in terms of like even becoming better than what they are. But at the same vein, I don't expect that immediately. Like he hasn't played football in nearly a year, and he's going to get tested. Excuse me, he's going to get tested in ways that is going to probably make him think twice mentally in terms of like how his leg feels or how his knee
Right.
feels in terms of certain bends or certain cuts. And he may not fully feel 100% there comfortably from a mental standpoint. But I do think over time, if Washington was to turn things around, and I don't want to like, completely close out that narrative, because I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm going to talk to the chat about, how I feel about Green Bay and things like that. But I think that ultimately, like if the team can solidify themselves from a win-loss standpoint and become a much better team from that perspective, just being more consistent, I think that it helps them out in the long run if Chase Young can come back and find his groove.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Facts, man. You know what he did in Bay too, man.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, Hawk, I think that there's
Yeah.
the connection goes in and out. So, I love to keep you on a little bit longer, but I just for the connection
Oh,
sake,
facts.
yeah, I think we're gonna have to move on, brother.
Oh yeah,
But nah, talk to me
man.
though.
Yeah,
Nah,
man.
last thing though. How did your
Yeah.
Sunday go this week? Just knowing that there
Oh,
was no Commanders on the board, was you able to watch that Ravens game in full? 'Cause I know you got a Ravens fan in the house. Uh-oh. Hello?
yeah. Hello.
Yeah, was you able to hear me? How'd your
Right.
Sunday go?
Yeah, hey,
Uh-oh.
Mom, man. Hey, look, it was beautiful, man. Bro, it was beautiful, man. I watched the game. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I'm sorry. Hey, wife, I'm sorry, but I had to talk trash about the squad, because you know what I'm saying. Because my thing is, bro, I was mad they lost that game. I was like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? the Ravens beating the Giants, when you said would only help us out, but that that ultimately didn't. It's all good.
Okay, here we go. I'm about to say the connection dropped again.
So damn.
Yeah, I know. I just heard you say, it was good. You talked a little trash to the wifey.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Hawk, check in. Keep checking in. You know the vibes, bro. Keep checking in.
Yeah,
but
man,
the connection hurting us right now this morning.
All right, bro.
Yes, sir. Hey, be safe, man. Enjoy your Monday.
Back at you. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace. All right, there go the good man Hawk. Checking in as always, the Morning Trapper, the inventor of the Morning Trapper phase, man. So whenever we get money, we gotta make sure. But listen though, let's go ahead and get back to the comments. I do see some of the questions or the comments all together. How do we even start this? I'll say the prospects of Green Bay after this. Actually, you know what? Let's mesh the conversation in together. Let's mesh it in. We're talking about Wentz. We're talking about Heinicke now, and then Green Bay as well. So let's kind of mesh this whole conversation in together. And let's start with Rich. I see you. I think I'm gonna start with OG. OG has a lot to say as well. Here we go. Let's roll through OG's comments. He said so many fans wanted Taylor Heinecke to be QB1 and argue that the $25 million could have built a deadly team. I think that's fair. I do remember some. I do remember some of those. I don't remember many, but I do think that's fair to bring up. We know Taylor Heinecke is better under pressure than Wentz because Wentz has zero mobility. Don't start Taylor Heinecke unless you want drama. I think the decision has to be made on Wentz now. Either free up cap and extend or start How. Where is, hold on one second. Is this, okay. Remember when someone jumped on Alex back in 2020? That was Aaron Donald who jumped on his back. They're going to do that to Chase Young. Okay. And then we may be playing Packers at the right time. So Rich is under the same thought as OG, talking about Sam Howell. Here's my thing. I said this on Saturday. I don't think I think the conversation about backup quarterback is really a non-discussion. It really shouldn't matter to anybody in terms of like what the true discussion is, because realistically, as much as we believe they are or are not in it, like practically speaking, the Commanders aren't going to think that they're not in it to make the playoffs. Like, they're not going to think that they're not in it. They're going to continue to play like they are. They're going to continue to operate as if they are. That's what I meant to say. As if they are in it. And what that entails is not starting a rookie in this spot. All right? Like, if you were 1-5, if you were 1-6, if you are 1-8, or put it this way, if you are at least 3 games under 500 after your 10th game, what would that make you? 3 games under 500. 2 and y'all know I'm not good at math, but you get my point. If the season appears to be over, regardless of if you're officially eliminated or not, that is the opportunity in which you bring in Sam Howell. Or if you think that Sam Howell can be your saving grace, if you think that Sam Howell can be your Vince Young because you're Jeff Fisher and you are on your last leg, you are on your last string, you on your last hope, then I gotta put Sam Howell in. But it is week 6. And in week 6, you can't operate like that. The organization cannot operate like that. Their livelihood is on the line. And I'm speaking, stick with me, I'm speaking from an organization standpoint. They got a family to feed. They got to eat. And you telling me that we about to put in Sam Howell over Taylor? Let me start sending my resume out to everybody, because clearly we ain't got no prospects for this season. And if we ain't got no prospects for this season, we must ain't got no feel for how this season has slipped out of our grasp damn near 3 games into the year. Let me go ahead and send out my resume to everybody. Yeah. Hey, sir, you conveniently left out your time in Washington. How did that go? We ain't gonna talk about that. We can talk about my other stops. We ain't gonna talk about what happened in Washington. You know, I was set up. I had Sam Mills. I was set up. But look, you can't do it. It's hard to really sit here and tell me if I'm a player that sure, I think Sam Howell is cool, but I got some chemistry with Taylor Heinecke, man. Don't forget last year, Jonathan Allen, regardless of thank you, Rich. You know, I ain't that good at math, but you know what I'm saying? That's why I got y'all here for. You know what I'm saying? It's wild because that was a very simple math issue in my head. But I'm saying, never forget that John Allen last year said that is our quarterback. Like, he stamped Taylor Heinecke, whether he was BSing or not. He stamped him. So, like, the locker room has a way. They feel a way about Taylor Heinecke. And you about to tell me that we're going to skip over Taylor, keep him as a backup, and put Sam Howell in when our season is still on the line? We went 7-8 with Taylor Heinecke last year. Essentially 7-9. Obviously, they're not going to count the first game with the Chargers, but Ryan Fitzpatrick got hurt so early in the game that I'm going to say 7-9. They won 7 games with that man last year. This is going to be an opportunity for Taylor. So, see, that ain't. I don't think that's true, bro. I don't think that's true. What's going on, Keith? Good morning to you. How you feeling? How's everything going? Good morning to everybody that's just checking in. Make sure if you have not done so, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It is truly appreciated. We are slowly matriculating to 1,000 subscribers. Hey, bro, certain words just kill me. But yeah, I don't think Sam Howell gives you the better opportunity to win. I think what people are doing when it comes to this quarterback position is understanding who Taylor Heinecke is based on the 16 because he missed one game because of the Philly game on the road. Based on a 16 game sample last year, like, yeah, we know what Taylor Heinecke is, but he's a backup. It's the same reason in which Colt McCoy got in Washington. Like, you know what Colt McCoy is, but you got to play him. He's your backup. He's your number 2 quarterback. It's the same reason why Colt McCoy got opportunities in Arizona. He is the backup, but you know who he is. The same thing with Taylor Heinecke here in Washington, current day. You know who he is, but guess what? He's the backup. I can't draw no conclusion and say that Sam Howell gives you a better opportunity because, first off, we're stemming this based on the fact that he's younger. We're stemming this based on the fact that he has a stronger arm than Taylor Heinecke. But I think we need to take things in perspective. I also said this on Saturday. Carson Wentz should have told everybody. He should have told everybody who thought that I'm going to rely on his physical traits and make my judgments moving forward. He should have told you that everything does not start and end at physical traits. Carson Wentz has a stronger arm. He can maneuver a little bit in the pocket. I'm not talking about his pocket presence. I'm saying his footwork. Like, he would rather stick in the pocket, unlike Taylor Heinecke. So he can maneuver in the pocket a little bit better. He got that arm that can get you any throw on the field. But does that mean he sees the field well? Does that mean he handles pressure at a better rate than Taylor Heinecke? Does that mean that he can operate an offense better than other quarterbacks available? Like, the physical traits does not start and stop there. And I think that for 6 games into the season, that should have told you, or watching Carson Wentz should have told you that it is not there. And that's kind of where I'm getting at with Taylor Heinecke. I'm not saying Taylor is better than Carson Wentz, but I'm also saying that Taylor or Carson Wentz isn't like drastically better than Taylor Heinecke. Like that has shown itself 6 games into the season. He's not drastically better. He just has more physical traits or better physical traits for a quarterback. And I think that's important to take into consideration. So when we say Sam Howell gives you a better opportunity to win games now, I don't agree with that. Like, he struggled on some occasions in that preseason game. And those are basic concepts. Those are basic structures in the NFL. And I'm not saying he ain't it. I will gladly put Sam Howell in. But I always stayed on the fact that I'm putting Sam Howell in when I know the season is probably lost or I am in desperation mode to save my job. Because Sam Howell is the guy that can possibly suggest I can be the QB of the future. That's what that move suggests. But that move can only be suggested if you're down the line, not 6 games in. Not going into your 7th game against Green Bay. That's a big game. This ought to be the opportunity that you're preparing Taylor Heinecke because you have a 10-day window to get ready for Green Bay. So, yeah, I just disagree. I don't think it's the moment right now. Good morning, Lance. How you feeling, big dog? Good morning to all the new people checking in. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that comment button. Or I said comment button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and give us some comments. Check in. Let everybody know how you feeling today. Good morning to the morning trappers. All that good stuff. Okay. If Taylor Heinecke wins 3 games by the time Wentz gets healthy, you can't pull Taylor Heinecke. He would have more wins. He would have one more than Wentz. Oh, so OG, back to your point. You said that you don't want to start Taylor Heinecke unless you want drama. I don't even think it's looking like that. I think the drama is going to exist between the fan base. Like, if you think about it now, our conversation right now is Heinecke or Howell. I got 2 Howells in here. I got, as far as I know, or I got 3 Howells, I think. Rich. I think, Rich, you are a Howell guy. OG is a Howell guy. Keith is a Howell guy. I'm a Heinecke guy. I'm a Heinecke guy for myself, and I'm a Heinecke guy from the standpoint of me actually agreeing with the organization. Like, I think that they have to, if they want to win games, if they want to make the playoffs, and they got to go with the guy that they know more. You can tell Carson doesn't know the offense. He's throwing where he's told the primary option is. I did finish the breakdown of the offense. It's extensive. Like, for them to have as many missed opportunities in structured issues in the first half, like, it was in the first half. That bad right there. He said, I understand, but you wouldn't rather see what he can do with something to see how he can. Let me read that again. I understand, but wouldn't you rather see what he can do with something to see how he can react? Yeah. Let's see that in week 15. Let's see that in week 15 after the bye week. Or let's see that in week 13, the week before the bye week, and then give him another opportunity to prepare after the bye week. Okay, so where was I at? Boom, right here. And we're not done talking about Taylor Heinecke. We're not done talking about Sam Howell. But I want to talk about how this meshes with 757. Good morning, 757. I don't think I said anything to you. But good morning, and good morning to everybody else checking in. Let me go ahead and send this in here. Oh, Jay, duh, I see you, bro. I ain't say good morning to you, man. Good morning to Jay. Hope everybody is well. Okay. So 757 says we might be playing the Packers at a good time. And I said to Hulk that I believe like there's a shot for Washington. Or maybe I alluded to that. But I do think that there's a shot for Washington to keep this game close. But it's not off the strength of them winning against Chicago. I thought that Washington had a shot to win before the season even started. And I think despite who was at quarterback, this was going to be a close game for Washington. Despite who was at quarterback, this was going to be a close game for Washington. I'm telling everybody here now, and I'll probably continue to say that throughout the week, unless something like drastically makes me change my mind. I think the same thing will apply throughout the week. But Washington played these guys close last year. Washington played these guys close last year. Hold on 1 second. Let me go ahead and get back to it. What was the score? Score was 24-10. Washington had several drives in the plus side territory, and they couldn't execute. Largely a byproduct of how the quarterback was playing, Taylor Heinecke. He had several missed opportunities on the plus side of the field. Sacked 4 times, 1 interception, fumbled the ball going into the end zone, 10 carries, 95 yards, 2 fumbles overall, lost 1, right? So several opportunities for Washington to stay in this game. And let me try to get the drives right. Here we go. For the second half, you had 10 points. You only allowed 10 points. And you're in their plus out of the territory on several occasions. But to that point, the defense understood and had an understanding of how to defend Aaron Rodgers after that first drive. They settled in. They were able to really execute for a good portion of that second half, right? And for what it's worth, because they had that interception that really gave them that short field in the second half too. Like, so Washington has had an understanding of how to defend Aaron Rodgers. They settled in. It's the same defense in a sense. Like, not much has changed. We have said that in the offseason. Not much has changed on that side of the ball. Wild Goose has come in. He's replaced William Jackson III. In a sense, obviously Benjamin St. Juste, he gets shifted outside, and then Wild Goose comes in. But ultimately, William Jackson is benched. You still have the same secondary. You still have the same linebacking core. You still have the same pass rushers and defensive line, minus Chase Young. But everybody else was there a year before. Add in F.A. Obata. That's probably the only difference as well. And obviously the defensive tackles, can't forget those. But Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, they play a heavy percentage of the snaps on that interior. These guys are going up against the same unit, and they lost some guys up front. You don't have the same receivers that they're going up against from a year ago. Devontae Adams, the most obvious one, he ain't there. Washington's going to keep things close defensively. And I don't expect a blowout. I don't expect a team in Green Bay who's going to win by 10 plus points. And if I'm wrong, go ahead and who in the hell? Who is this person? Block this person. How does this even happen? Lord, yeah, delete all that stuff. So yeah, I don't even know how that happened. Anyway, with all that being said, I just think that there's an opportunity there for Washington prior to whoever was at quarterback this week. I think that Jack Del Rio wants another shot at Aaron Rodgers. I think that he'll get that shot, and I think he'll be able to execute based on the situation that they experienced last year with these guys. But I don't think it's going to be sweet. I do think already looking at, the matchup ahead and looking at the current defense against Chicago, how they played, I think that there's going to be some opportunity that's really going to put them in stress, especially in the run game / play action game with the Green Bay Packers. So yeah, we're playing the Packers at a good time, but I also think that we were going to give the Packers some go regardless of what our record was, regardless of who was at quarterback. And I think that's the more interesting storyline. Is that this ain't going to be an issue for this defense. It's going to be a challenge that they're looking forward to. They want that revenge factor. So now we figure out who's at quarterback, which is going to be Taylor Heinecke. Like, we know that much. And it's pretty much all but confirmed. Even JP Finley said it, that Taylor Heinecke is going to be that guy moving forward, and things like that. So let's kind of identify the good and bad with Taylor Heinecke. Let's net out the positives. Let's talk about the negatives. What is good with Taylor? What can you trust and what can't you trust? Let's see. I understand. Like with JD said his angle route, but Carson threw it like he was going to keep running. Sacramento, California. What's going on, Lance? Welcome in. I got family in Sacramento, man. Sacramento, San Fran, Oakland, all that good stuff. We all migrated out from the South. You know what I'm saying? Family from Jackson, Mississippi. But we got some fam out there. We can beat the Packers. We just have to stop the running backs. Taylor Heinecke is going to beat Green Bay and the Colts. Then Kirk going to come in here and shit. Howling for Howell, Mo. Oh, he got carted off? That's crazy. Yeah. I don't even know how moderators work. What I got to do? I thought you only get that if you I don't know. But yeah, clearly I do, because that was crazy. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. With that said, this is a winnable game. Put Howell in the game and simplify the offense, run the ball, and make time to throw. You can do that with Taylor Heinecke, though. Wouldn't you rather do that with a guy who knows the offense, who's been in here for 3 years? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, been in Washington for 3 years at the very least. He knows the offense here. He knows the players here. Right? When you want a guy like that, I see that y'all don't want a guy like that. So Hawk, it's 4-on-1 right here. I'm getting jumped. Nobody's helping me. Where's my help? I'm like Jack Del Rio over the past couple weeks. Where the hell is my help? Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Yes, sir. Welcome in, Lance. Appreciate you checking in. And look, if you're here, man, for the long term, you're a morning trapper, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Welcome in. Nick coming here hating. Hey, Nick, I just want you to know, bro. Nick is a Dallas fan, and I appreciate you checking in right now. But Nick, my brother, I'm so frustrated in the outcome of last night's game. I did fall asleep early enough to the point where I didn't know that the Dallas Cowboys cut it within 3. That would have had my anxiety through the roof because I had Dallas +4. But y'all need Dak back. Nah, keep Cooper rushing. Keep Cooper rushing, man. I need it. Yeah. Keep Cooper rushing. He can't make the throws. Heineken is a watered down Chad Pennington. Hey, hold on. Nah, listen, man. Listen. Talk. Like, look. Let's net out the positives and the negatives, and all I see in the chat is negatives. There y'all go. Congratulations to Dallas. Who y'all got next? Oh, y'all got the layup game. I think it's the Detroit Lions, right? We were talking about that on the show. Yeah, I think y'all got the Lions next. Yep, Lions and then Bears. Look at y'all. Y'all about to be right back on track. I said let's net out the negatives and the positives, man. And look at that. Nick is checking in with some objectivity, something you haven't seen before. And that's what I'm getting at. How y'all gonna tell us that Sam Howell is the better option for this team right now? We can't say that. That's all based on optimism. That ain't based on nothing tangible. All right, here we go. Now we can talk. Now we can talk some positives and negatives. I see it now. John, appreciate you checking in. Kev, I appreciate you checking in. Good morning to everybody that's checking in right now. I'm all for Heineke taking over, but we need to, oh Lord, I ain't even read this comment. John, we netting out the positives and the negatives of Sam Howell. All right, let's do that. Can we please do that? But nah, to your point though, John, just in case you are checking in. Hey, look, we all need to see what Howell can do. I'm all for Howell playing down the line. I think that Howell needs to be the last resort for Washington and Ron Rivera. I think that Howell is the guy that needs to be looked at as Ron Rivera's Vince Young. Because Vince Young right now, I mean, because Ron Rivera is approaching Jeff Fisher territory. Like, he needs a savior because he can't keep jotting out these excuses. That shit that he pulled last week or this past weekend about quarterback, the reason why they're 1-4 and the reason why they aren't able to, like, the reason why they're 1-4 is because they aren't able to build around the quarterback. They haven't had enough time. Like, that's BS. But at this point, I mean, it's BS for several reasons, but to this point, you're seeing that he needs a savior because he can't keep throwing out these excuses. He can't keep doing it. So I'm all for Howell getting the opportunity to play, but Howell putting him in this pressure spot, like, we aren't accepting the fact that this is a huge spot for Washington. And we're going to put this on a rookie? If it was just Carson and Sam, okay. But it's Carson, Taylor, and Sam. And we're going to put this pressure on a rookie right now at 2-4, trying to establish something on the offense. We're talking about simplifying the offense, right, for Sam Howell. You can do the same thing for the noodle arm Heineke. That's it. And people talking about he can't see over the line. Sam Howell is the same height. What are we talking about? They can see over the line sometimes, and sometimes they can't. Especially when things get muddied in the pocket. we gotta understand the positives and the negatives. I haven't even started mine yet. I'm going through the comments, man. I want to see what everybody got to say. Everybody that's checking in. Jay said Heinicke's gonna make some plays. Heineken can make timely throws. Does he have heart? Yes. Can he make the throws? Yes. Heinicke makes quicker decisions under pressure. 70% yes. Heinicke knows the offense. How isn't the better option, but what do you want for this team long term? That is an excellent question. We're going to circle back to that, Jay. We're going to circle back to that. Can he throw the... Yeah, facts. Pushing it. He can't push the ball downfield consistently. But you know Taylor Heinicke, the product in him. He doesn't make much of a difference. Y'all brought in Wentz for a reason. Sending Howell. It is 6 against 1. Or 7 against 1. I don't know. I'm getting jumped. Like, I'm clearly getting jumped. And I don't have no help. So Nick, after everything that he said, bring in Howell. Okay. Taylor is the best choice, but will prove that the staff messed up by not riding with him during the offseason, which will create drama. It is not that much drama as you would like to believe, OG. I vehemently disagree with you. 2 terms that should be accepted: Sam Howell and elimination. Terry Rivera quote up. We already know Heineke isn't the future. We got to find a long-term solution. We stuck. All right, so let's rock with the negatives. What are the negatives with Taylor Heineke? We heard some positives. I respect them. Let's hear the negative. What are the negatives with Taylor Heineke? I like the same how we could run the rock. We meet yards by the quarterback nowadays. Defense is too fast. The offense is simple as it's going to get. This isn't an NFL offense. That is also true. Like, they are playing terribly, and they're playing terribly from a schematic standpoint, and then also from just the ability to execute in certain situations. Did he have us drink the commander aid against Tampa Bay? Yes. We ain't got no shot to make the playoffs. Hey, look, and that's the thing. That's the truth. That's the truth of the matter, right? Like, we know from a fan perspective and understanding the situations, we understand that Washington is probably on the far outside looking in, but mathematically they are still in it, and Ron Rivera is going to fight tooth and nail, as well as the coaching staff and well as his team, to try and make it to the playoffs. So we, as a fan who know that they're going to struggle, we as a fan base understand that they are not going to fight. They're not going to accept it. All right, so here we go. Sam Howell could run the rock. I believe in the quarterback that can get the first down with his legs. All right. So Taylor Heineke can do that too. But I hear you, Lance. I think Howell could be the difference maker, seeing that he's a better athlete than Heineke. Heineke ran a 4.5, a 4.6. Howell ran like a 4.8. But he do got a little shake to him. All right, Taylor's a waste of time. Taylor doesn't see the entire field. Diami running all go routes with Howell. We're spinning the wheels with him and Wentz. Okay. It's got to be Taylor Heineke. Throwing Howell and could ruin them now. We need to throw the ball upfield. I hate our plays behind the line of scrimmage. It kills me. It's crazy because we're getting the ball upfield. Oh, it's just such a mixture. It's just such a mixture. Like, think about it, Lance. And this ain't a shot at Lance. This is more so about the narrative behind the offense. For a long time, over the past few weeks, we have been saying that they need to have plays at or near the line of scrimmage for their playmakers to get the ball in their hands quicker, because clearly in pressure situations, Scott Turner is dialing up some plays in which they can't even attack downfield the way they want to. Or even in pressure situations when you're manned up against our receivers, there aren't plays that allows them to win quicker than they should. So now we got these plays where we're at or near the line of scrimmage. And I bring up this comment is not because of him, not because of Lance. It's because I've seen this a lot on Twitter as well. Like, we gotta understand that it's a nuanced conversation. And in order to help quarterbacks out against pressure, you gotta find a way to get the ball out of their hands quicker. Terry will probably eat more with Howell. Okay. We know what Ford can do. I just don't want them to put Howell in this. and mess up his mental, I think he'll be fine, to be honest with you. Like, if they put him in, if they were to put him in, they're going to go with Taylor Heinecke. But if they were to put him in terms of his mental, I think Howell would have been fine. Like, think about what he endured last year in Carolina. Like, he took a beating, and they still used him. Like, a lot of the plays that they made was off the back of Howell. 800 yards rushing. He still was slinging the rock. Like, a lot of the percentage of their scores had a lot to do with Howell. I think he's gonna be fine, especially as a rookie, knowing that he'll have an understanding that this ain't on him. He's just getting his ass whooped. Hey, good morning, Jamil. Good morning to everybody that's just checking in. Good morning to all the trappers, the morning trappers, man. If you are new or if you are just checking in, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It is truly appreciated. If you are on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button. If you have not done so, it's truly appreciated. Okay, let's go ahead and keep going. If you want Taylor out with the... Oh, Lord. Also, let's not forget Jahan Solo Dawson that uses the force when catching the ball. Hey, but listen, though. Wouldn't a guy like Jahan Dotson benefit from a guy in Taylor Heinecke? Jahan Dotson would benefit. Cole Turner would benefit. Taylor Heinecke abused Logan Thomas last year prior to the injury. Let's not forget that. And Cole Turner moves better than Logan Thomas. Like, that is a fact. And that is proven by my evaluation. I've done a whole breakdown on Cole Turner. I've also just understood, just from his first 2 games, the same situations that Logan Thomas was put in, they provided the same opportunities for Cole Turner since Logan Thomas was out. He moves drastically better than Logan Thomas. He beats man coverage easier than Logan Thomas. He has a natural feel for leverage. Like, he knows how to manipulate leverage. He ain't the fastest person. He ain't going to win on no foot speed thing, but he understands how to win. But to my point with Jahan Dotson and Cole Turner, they will benefit from a player like Taylor Heinecke. He loves the tight ends and he loves working inside out. Jahan Dotson can work inside out. I would have these guys close to the line of scrimmage as possible, or try to motion their best receivers who can work certain situations closer to the line of scrimmage. Tighter splits. That's where my guys are. Cole Turner going to get that done. And if you have him isolated on the backside, for the love of God, if he's one-on-one, you have to hit that. And I think that Taylor Heinecke probably is going to challenge and recognize those mismatches much better than a Carson Wentz. Okay. If we stay at the bottom, Turner gets that first axe to drop. If I put Howell in a system that isn't going to be here in a year, I like Taylor Heinecke too. It just seems that he can't take the hits the same. What Heinecke tape have you been talking? You talking about dude like he good? 802. So you just sent it. I don't know what you were referring to. Like, if you think about it, I think this is a very complex. I know you're not serious, but it's a very complex question to answer. Taylor Heinecke isn't ass. It's the reason why he's a backup quarterback in the league. If he was ass, he would have got cut. And if he was also ass, Sam Howell would be QB number 2. Like, that would also tell you how they feel about your second quarterback. Think about Tennessee. Hey, Jay, think about Tennessee. They had 3 quarterbacks in, and Malik Willis is number 2 now. They had 3 quarterbacks in, and Malik Willis was going to be that number 3 guy. Like, that was their plan. And he overtook that number 2 spot with ease. But to Heineke's point, and to answer your question, what Heinicke tape have you been watching? Oh my God. Who is this person, bro? Get out of here. Okay. Yeah, he's not a starter. Exactly. He's not a starter. And that's what I'm saying. We're talking about 2 guys that's coming in that aren't starters. Sam Howell and Taylor Heinecke. Neither one of those are starters. And unfortunately for Washington, you had a starting quarterback in Carson Wentz who 99 times out of 10 did not look like a starter in this team. He gave you the strong arm plays, right? On the boundary, hitting Terry and Strad on big plays, hitting Diami on a skinny post in phase, hitting Diami on a slot fade, perfect placement, outside shoulder, one hand snag, left handed. It was easy. You get that. But I just think that if we're talking about what somebody is or what somebody isn't, we're talking about 2 backup quarterbacks. We're talking about one guy who is a QB2, and I don't understand how we're overlooking the fact that, you know, in an NFL operation, you don't just go straight to your rookie and hope for the best when you have supplanted or cemented somebody as that QB2 in the case of an emergency or in case of a situation in which your starting quarterback gets hurt. Like, that's just how the league works. That's just how NFL works. That's just how preparation works. You have a number 2 guy in place. It just is what it is, bro. Like, we know that Taylor isn't a starter, because if he was a starter, they wouldn't even have spent $28 million on Carson Wentz. And to my point, and I guess let me get to my point, because I understand where we're at right now. Taylor Heinecke is the guy, first and foremost, for all the reasons that we listed. Like, he's just the number 2, and it is what it is. He knows the offense, all that good stuff. But in terms of making plays, he's not going to force his hand in the sense of, how can I say this? He's not going to overstep his boundaries, right? He's not going to take that deep shot that tells him, hey, you may got too much dip on your chip. He's just not going to take it. Outside of that, you got to hope his accuracy, like, he's not floating passes, because, I mean, obviously he did that against the Titans game. The Panthers game in preseason. That was the one exposure you had with that. But overall, you get a guy who's going to rather extend on his legs when he's not sure about his arm. He'll try to keep you ahead of the sticks, right? And in terms of turnovers, I can't really say too much about that, because last year was just a mess offensively. You got better help this year, in terms from your running backs and from your receiver standpoint. You got more help. Hopefully you get Jahan Dotson back. So it's going to be interesting to see how he played last year. The help that you got this year is much better than a Dax Milne and DeAndre Carter combination. And De'Ami Brown, who had a lot of time last year, but was also hurt and really was in and out of the lineup. So you got a better and stable, more stable crew. Curtis Samuel's back. I just think for all it's worth, you have somebody that you can trust back there in a pressure situation, and I'm not going to the rookie for that. Okay. Heineken made a great impression on Scotty T. Why are we talking about Howell like he's good? Let's stop inking Howell like he was a first-round prospect. Correct. That's why you have to find out if he's a late gem. Howell has the upside, physical traits, plus the unknown. Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, just to pick for all a few late-round picks. Drew was, I thought Drew was like a second. Wasn't Drew like a second? Let's see. Drew Brees draft. Yeah, he's a second rounder. I think I want to see how, mostly because as a fan, after 3 shitty seasons, I'm desperate to see something that gives us hope. Hey, look, hey, look, I guess to be clear, and we've said it, like, we're talking in circles here, but I think it's still a healthy conversation. I want Sam Howell to play. Like, see what you got in him, right? But you just can't do it right now. Like, I would have been for it after 10 games. They were 3-7, or I guess 4-6 would give them a hope that they can still fight. But 3-7, yeah. Drew, yeah. To be clear, I will go Taylor Heinecke and do like you said, get rid of the ball fast. We have a lot of speed out there. You can sprint out Taylor and open. And also too, like when it comes to Taylor, like it's a good opportunity for Scott to reflect on how he used him last year. Like, how can you make his situation better? How can you make him more comfortable? Now, do we have faith in Scott Turner to do that? I ain't gonna sit here and tell you that I do. We have seen him. Hey man, look, all I'm saying is I don't see it. And here's my fear too on that. Jay. I have said this several occasions, and I've said it to the point that I don't know where I said it. I know I said it on Twitter Spaces, and I think I said it maybe on Hogs Haven. No, I think I said it here. Yeah, here, Chopper Dive. I said my fear, bruh, is that like Washington will. I have probably like it's like 50-50 in terms of surprising. Like I don't think I'll be that surprised if Washington finds a way to win 7 games this year, right? But I think what that does, and my fear is that it gives the powers that be the confidence that Ron Rivera can still turn this thing around. When I think we're just going to be spinning the wheels, like it's a recycled process, repeated process. I think that's ultimately the issue that we'll come across. And my fear is that, you know, he can convince the powers that be, Dan and Tanya, that I need to be here another year. Like, look how we progress at the end of the season. Ultimately with another playoff loss. I mean, excuse me, not playoff loss. A missed opportunity for the playoffs. So realistically, I think that Washington operates in that they have a chance. I personally think that they are too far behind the 8 ball from a standpoint of being able to stack up wins consistently, right? They're like 2-4. You're beyond the point of really competing your own division. Never say never, because somebody can falter. But even outside of that, you got other teams in other conferences with better, other teams in other divisions that has better records than you. So they're still going to fight tooth and nail because they have a chance. I don't think that they have that much of a chance, as much of a chance as they like to believe. We can win and say that second pick. Fitz said on TV that Turner doesn't adjust to his game, to his players. Turner can reflect in a house of mirrors. So the O would be the same for Brady and Vic under Turner. Yeah, but is that truly a negative? Yes, it is. But I asked that because I want people to think, like, if you have top tier players, like you mentioned with Brady and Vic, if you have top tier players, then the scheme is like it's foolproof. Like you can win. Excuse me. Let me take that back, because that's the inverse of what I'm trying to say. I think the scheme is foolproof. Like if you look at a Andy Reid situation or a Bill Belichick situation, like they know how to work, and probably some other coordinators that's not off the top of my head, and coaches, they know how to work the scheme to their players, and they know how to work with the personnel around them. But if you have top tier players on your team, and a Brady, Justin Herbert, let's look at some of the other younger guys. Kirk Cousins in this offense. I'm still looking. Matt Stafford would work. Russell Wilson would love this, because he third level shouted. Like he taking everything that's over 20 yards, he gonna take it. My point: when you have top tier quarterbacks, the scheme becomes effective. Carson Wentz is not a top tier quarterback, and like I said, is it a bad thing? Yes, it is, because you have to understand that you ain't gonna have that pick of the litter quarterback. You ain't gonna have that top 5 quarterback. So you have to understand how your players work in your scheme. Excuse me, you have to understand the players you have, and then you have to understand how they can work in your scheme, and how do you adjust that to the people that you have. And when you don't have a top tier quarterback, or if you don't have an elite athlete who can make a play from any spot of the field, then you need to figure out how to do your job better. So like I said, is it a bad thing? Not really, if you got the players. But in reality, you ain't gonna always have the players. So yeah, Scott Turner to a degree is a little flawed. And for what it's worth, right? And the reason why I asked that question, for what it's worth, I heard Ryan Fitzpatrick say that, but I also heard Jay Gruden push back on that. A head coach compared to a quarterback who has seen a variety of schemes, but Jay Gruden is like he doesn't even know what that means. He doesn't even know if that makes sense. So like it can make sense to us. Like, how does that make sense for a person who actually understands how to do their job on a real effective level? Like, how does it work? And maybe Jay Gruden was just trying to give credit or defend like a coach in a sense, but it is what it is. All right, here we go. Turner can reflect. He said, Scott Turner calls play like I do in Madden. Everybody know what you're running on third down, bro. If we had the Jets secondary, I'd be more confident that we win the game. Preston Smith coming in town. Yes, he is. He is coming into town, so you got that rematch with your boy Preston. Preston versus Cornelius Lucas and Charles Leno. Maul, you are right from a front office perspective. I just think putting in Howell, you can see how he reacts under pressure to turn it around and see if he's got that QB killer instinct. Hey, you can laugh all you want to, Hulk. But the truth is the truth, man. We're talking about a coach with experience, and then we're talking about a player from his experience. So we got two different perspectives. One that believes the scheme is flawed, and one that believes how the hell you gonna tell me how the scheme is flawed? Like, that don't even make sense. Two different perspectives. I don't have no faith in Turner to get him out of here. That's where a lot of us are. That is, first off, Tyler, that is crazy, bro. How we gonna knock Jay Gruden and then not knock Ryan Fitzpatrick when they both saying the same thing from opposite perspectives? Like, one is for, one is against. I don't know, bro. Jay Gruden had told us all the things. If you listen to Jay Gruden since he's got fired, he has told us a lot of things that has happened in this Washington organization. So now he ain't gonna be honest about an opinion about play calling. Come on, man. And he in the league still. Like, he ain't got no. I mean, I get it. Like, there can be a little bias to it. There can also be a little bias from Ryan Fitzpatrick's side. He's trying to defend quarterbacks. He a quarterback guy. Why wouldn't he defend Carson Wentz for why he's struggling? I got you. Yeah, see. But listen though. All right, so here we are with Taylor Heinecke, man. Not about a coach. Here we are with Taylor Heinecke to wrap this whole thing up. I love the discussion. I love the discourse from everybody, man. I love everybody's activity, whether you are in agreement or whether you are not, man. It's definitely a fun conversation to have, and obviously it's not going to be the last one. The fellas on the Trap or Die podcast will be back tomorrow to break down the news as well. I'm on the standpoint of, just to reiterate my thoughts because I see everybody else as well. I'm on the standpoint of I'm with Sam Howell, but you can't do it right now. That is a possible detriment. That can be a possible disaster. And not in the sense of like getting blown out 50-0 in every single game. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I don't think Sam Howell is a terrible quarterback from that standpoint. I think it's a disaster in that the pressure moment is a reason why he was a third string quarterback who hasn't been cut and put on practice squad. I think that the perspective is like they're here to groom him and develop him until the time is right. And it's too early right now to say the time is right for me. So I'm on the standpoint of giving Heinicke those first few games. And if Heinicke provides no value, no benefit, and a standpoint of you going from 2-4 to maybe 2-7 or 3-5, meaning 1-2 or something like that, I think that you're even at that point, maybe even putting Carson Wentz back in because of his finger situation. I don't know. And maybe they ride out with Carson Wentz until the season is officially over. But yeah, I don't think you can do it right now. And I would hate the idea of bringing Carson Wentz back in this situation. We've seen enough. But again, thinking from the organization standpoint, I don't think that they see it the same way we do. So Sam Howell will be back in at some point, but not right now. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. And we'll talk more on Tuesday. Obviously, we'll be back on Thursday as well in terms of Trap or Die podcast. The morning show will be back on Wednesday. Did you see the game from last night? That whole game on both sides was quick passes and rollouts. Two OCs that know what to do against dominant defensive fronts. Yeah. I think for what it's worth, like I said, I told Nick I dozed off when Cowboys cut the lead down to 3. But overall, from the standpoint of them preparing, being well prepared for their quarterbacks and things like that, yeah. I'm fine with Taylor the next 3 games. If we lose all 3 or go 1-2, go with how. As long as we're in the hunt graphic. I align with this thought for the most part. And when I say for the most part, I'm like, my concern is, well, what if Taylor Heinecke isn't the reason why they lost the games? That can influence their opinion. But overall, like, you know, it is what it is, right? As long as we're in the hunt graphic, I'd roll with experience. I like how you put the quote unquote thing, but yeah, that's where we are. Okay. Everyone, man, I appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate all the morning trappers this morning. Happy Monday morning. We got another game tonight. He said it's not about if it's his fault. Look, I'm with you because you're talking about a win-loss standpoint. Well, I understand what you're saying. But we got a good game tonight on paper. Anytime Russell Wilson is in a game, despite how terrible he's playing, and I don't think things will get drastically better all of a sudden overnight, but I do think because the Chargers defense is ass, it's impossible for him to look bad. If he looks bad against the Chargers defense, then it may be time to close the book on him. Like officially, I have closed the book on him. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have closed the book on him. But in terms of like for the world and the public opinion, I think if he asses it up against the Chargers tonight, it's time for people to close the book on Russell Wilson. But yeah, that's a game tonight. I can't wait to see that one. Kick my feet up once again. Enjoy the rest of this week. How will be suited up, but that's all we need. Taylor blows. We will see how quick. Whereas it's been bad for a while. And for that, I do agree. But yeah, fellas, ladies, everybody that's watching, we will be back tomorrow for the Sharp or Die podcast with AJ and Dre. So y'all take it easy. Enjoy y'all Monday. Enjoy y'all morning. Enjoy the rest of y'all day, man. Stay safe. He is fat and can't move. Hey, bro, I'm done. I'm done. Hey, y'all be safe, man. Enjoy y'all day, bro. We out of here, dog.